Yes, thank you, Dr. Lima. Um, I'm going to put in the chat something that I did last week. And what I did last week was a Facebook Live in Spanish, sponsored by the Mexican consulate, which serves the Carolinas. And I was one of two panelists. And when you talk about products of engaged scholarship, do you mean like then writing about this product? Like there's a lot of things that I learned preparing for this virtual panel on higher education, and then seeing people from the community, Spanish speakers, reach out to me, very interested in the topic that we presented. So if you could just kind of give me an idea of should I write about learning what I learned? I see that there's this big gap. I wish more universities in South Carolina could reach Spanish speakers on topics related to higher ed. Is that what I should, maybe focus on? And so thank you for this opportunity.
Yeah, you're very welcome, and it sounds again like you're doing amazing work. So I think especially when you do see that, first of all, that the work is so meaningful, and then B, you start to see the gaps, and sometimes they can be huge, and they can be yawning. I mean, they're just so big. I felt like that when I was starting my work in engineering, that there was so little out there, that I just tried to be strategic about it. In other words, again, what am I really fired up about? And I have to say, what I've been really fired up about from day one is so simple. It shouldn't even be a thought, and it has guided my entire career. And that is, I refuse to live in a community where a child does not have access to swing, slide, and climb. That's it. I feel like that's been my whole, my disgust with the idea that kids in my community don't have that. Not every child does, is what drives me every day. But in terms of, I'm sure I'm sure all of us has that thing that drives you. But I think the key is, can you use it strategically to push the needle forward in ways that you think are really important. So if you think it's a matter of telling the story to, who are you going to tell it to? Is it universities in the Carolinas? What's the best way to reach them? And then how do you present your work in the way, in sort of their currency, so that they get it and maybe start doing it? If there's a better way to do it, or you think, I want to put something together so that somebody doesn't have to go through all the mistakes that I made the first time, maybe you have a how-to sheet or a best practices sheet. I think, I don't know that I can answer your question specifically, other than to say that if you are just really thoughtful about what's missing, and prioritize it, what's the most important for you? What is the best way to move your project forward, and in what ways do you do that? And then what products are going to best help you achieve that goal? Does that answer your question?
Yes, I've been writing frantically. Thank you. This is all very, very helpful.
Okay. Yeah, so like for me, designing and building playgrounds with children has been a consistent activity for more than 20 years. But the knowledge that so many engineering faculty will not know how to engage with community and with students to affect positive community change is why, with other people, I co-wrote a textbook on service learning and engineering. So again, that was not research paper. It was just a, you know, here's a reference for faculty who want to do this kind of work to help them get started. So I think, again, you know, if you see those gaps, what are you most passionate about? What do you think is going to make the biggest difference? And then how do you communicate that information to the people who are going to help push that difference, that positive thing forward?